The following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Sitting down and designing, where every man in a thinking, what are we gonna be wearing? Yo, I'm a Liverpool MC, you can't trust me, big up the girls inside the party. Let's get down to crazy Jimmy, big up myself and known as Alfie, the one and only, the Turkish MC.
Always love the clothes of Jimmy.
British punk, yo, wanna be, Jimmy Star, new celebrity.
We'll take you out to Jimmy Stars.
Hey ho, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, bringing you the good times in music, fashion, pop culture, and entertainment. We got a great show for you guys today. Before we get started, let's say hi to our cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Mr. Ron Russell, and Astro.
So what if I don't want to say hi? Are you going to fire me?
No.
When are you going to pay me?
Never. Let's go. Come on. Anyway, so you guys... we want to say hi to the chat room. People are starting to show up. Hey, Cindy, Ladylike in the chat rooms, and the Ladylike Dawn is in the chat room. Do you have a watch on today? Show Dawn your watch.
I have my Versace Sport that I love that Jimmy gave me for my birthday.
Christmas.
Oh, Christmas.
There you
Isn't
go.
it beautiful? I love this watch. I wear it a lot. And I'm also wearing a Jimmy Star vintage shirt. Little ducks. Look at them. Aren't they adorable? Little rubber ducks that you played with in the bathtub.
Randy, get the hell out of here. Okay.
You know. Remember
Freaking
the
dog.
jokes about your rubber ducky?
Rubber
Anyway,
ducky.
I'm
or
wearing
the one.
rubber duckies.
Also from
This
Sesame
shirt
Street.
is how old, Jimmy? 30 years old,
No.
20 years old?
2000. It's about 20 years old.
20 years old. Look how it's held up. I mean, his clothing was so well made. The fabrics were wonderful. You don't get those fabrics nowadays. Nowadays, it's like paper. Cotton. They ever see some shirts, you feel them, they feel like paper. This is real cotton. This will last like forever. This shirt sold for about what, $30?
No.
How much?
Probably 160.
160. You had
Yeah.
nerve.
Oh, well, I
You
sold lots of
charged
them.
that in those days?
Yeah.
You're robbing people.
Well, it's a one-of-a-kind shirt. It costs
Fuck
a lot
you,
of money.
$160 for this shirt.
It takes
Yeah.
a lady hours to make it, and I didn't pay my people $2
I
an
don't
hour.
care. It's worth $30.
No, it's worth $100.
Well, I got it for
That's worth
free
like
because
$200
I
now.
swiped it from the warehouse. When Jimmy said to me, go to the warehouse, take what you want, I went there with a U-Haul truck.
Yeah.
And I took thousands of pairs of shoes and millions of shirts. Not really. But this was one that I took that I love. And I wear it occasionally.
And your birthday shirt you wear all the time.
Oh, my
Every
birthday shirt
every year on
that
his
I wear
birthday.
every year. I love that one with the cherries on it. Oh, that's my favorite shirt. Jimmy really had some beautiful things, but I would not have paid $160
I know,
for it.
wait.
No, I would have stole it. No, I would have gone in the dressing room, put it on, and then put a big shirt over it and walked out and said, bye, baby.
That's hilarious.
And I would have shoplifted it because $160, you're trying to rob me, so I'm going to rob you first.
So, you guys, we have a fun show today. We're letting everybody know, too, that like we're going to New York for 2 weeks. It's going to be a lot of fun. When we come back, we have great guests. We have Andrew Stevens from a whole bunch of stuff. And he's
Stella
also Stella's
Stevens' son. And we could talk about Stella, who I knew and just cared so much for. Every time I saw Stella, it was like hugging and just, she was a warm, anyway.
Don says this is the best haircut I ever got.
Well, of course.
Said I haven't had a good haircut like this in a
Because I
long time.
did it. It's $150 haircut.
There you go.
Well,
and I
if you-
stole it.
Well, if you could charge $140 for a shirt, I'm going to charge you $150 for the haircut. So then, how do you like that? Anyway, while we're in New York, I'm hoping to do a ghost hunt show with Cardoshula Una Carol.
Kadrolsha.
Whatever her name is. I think that name
Wait,
is...
I have to go back. So you guys, besides Andrew Stevens, when we come back, we're also going to have Greg Raposo. Any boy band people know him from one of the singers of Dream Street. And so it should be a lot of fun. And now we'll talk with him about his new solo stuff and being in a popular boy band. I'm looking forward to that.
No, I forgot what I was talking about.
We're going to do a ghost hunt with
all
Corone.
right, a ghost hunting show with a celebrity, with a surprise guest celebrity. And then we're going to do, just Eileen, Jimmy, and I, a walk around Manhattan show where we're going to walk around and comment about things that are happening in New York now. So it should be hilarious. And it's going to be, we're going to go to places that they don't photograph.
One of us has to stay
I'm
someplace.
speaking, interruption, maleducato. You are so ill-mannered. Didn't your parents teach you when someone's speaking
No.
to wait? Jesus Christ. Every week you interrupt me and I forget what I'm saying.
Well, one of us has to stay someplace where the Wi-Fi doesn't move around. So if you guys get lost and get off, somebody will still be on the air.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
All
I got it, Juan. Don't worry.
all I know is I'm going to walk around and show people parts of New York that nobody shows. You know, they're very selective when they show a city. But I'm going to go and show them the real New York, the New York that I know. I know New York inside and out. I know every street, every avenue. I worked them. I walked those streets forever. No, I don't mean as a hooker.
Yeah, he does.
No, I don't. I mean as an out-of-work actor looking for work. So, I know, and I've appeared in a lot of the clubs that used to be there that I might show you what clubs were there, nightclubs. So it's going to be a fun 2 weeks in New York City, seeing all my old good dear friends, going to great Chinese restaurants with real good Chinese food.
Yeah, we don't have good Chinese food or
see,
pizza.
again, he does it.
No, it's a conversation show and not a Ron Talk show.
I know,
so.
but after I will stop, and then you could take the whole show over,
we
and
don't
everybody will leave.
We don't have good Chinese.
When you
and we don't
talk,
have-
they go to the bathroom,
don't.
they go in the kitchen and make a liverwurst sandwich. You know,
Anyway, we don't have good Chinese food here, you guys, and we don't have
and Italian
pizza.
bread. I cannot wait to get to Queens. Queens is a borough of New York, and get a loaf of in Astoria on Ditmars Boulevard and get a loaf of Italian bread, because the Italian bread there is out of this world. Here it's rubber. You either get Italian bread that you go like that, and the Italian bread does this, or you get some kind of weird shit that you break your teeth on. It's like a rock. Please.
We also want to give a shout out. B joined us in the chat room now. Hey, B, how are you? Yes, I yawned. I'm tired, you guys. We've been burning the candle at both ends, and we're ready for a little break. Anyway. You have to talk, Ron. You can't.
Oh, now he tells me to talk.
No,
Before he told me I talk
I
too
can
much.
do it. If you don't want to talk, I can talk.
No,
That's not a problem.
You talk about business. All you talk about is the millions of people that watch us, the 1.2 billion streaming downloads, whatever.
We have to bring all that up again, too.
Whatever,
because we
all
want
that
people to
bullshit.
look. Last week's show,
See,
you
now
guys.
look, Astro thinks I'm angry. My dog is so sensitive. If I say the word F-U-C-K, he gets nervous because he knows Daddy's on the warpath.
The last couple of shows you guys have done really good, too, so we want to thank everybody for tuning in. You can listen to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. We're on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Prime.
You know,
We're also on
Jimmy,
about another 160.
You know what I thought? I before I forget?
What?
My daughter Deirdre turns 50 next April. And Leslie, my other daughter, suggested the family goes to Italy for Deirdre's birthday to be with our relatives there. And I said, yes, that's a wonderful idea. The four of us will, but we can't go.
Yeah, because what do you do with the dogs? You can't
My
take the
dog,
dogs.
what about Astro and Brandy? We have no one to leave our dogs with, and I wouldn't trust anyone. And I can't take both dogs to Europe because all we'll be doing is taking care of our dogs and not enjoying ourselves. So, be careful when you get a pet. Be sure that you know what you have to give up when you have a pet. Or that you're tough enough to put them in a pound, a dog place. I would never do that. I would never put my dogs in a cage.
We'd have to have somebody
without
live
us.
here.
They would die. Astro is so sensitive, my little 7-pound. He would die. He needs me. He sleeps with me. He eats with me. When I watch TV, he lays on my chest and kisses me. Astro
goes to the grocery store with you. He
he goes
everywhere.
everywhere with me, and he just couldn't live without me. So we would have to probably take Astro to Italy with us. But Brandy, I don't know what to do with Brandy. She's such a sensitive little girl. Right, Brandy?
Little big girl.
Big girl. Anyway,
She got a haircut this week, and Astro's getting a haircut while we're gone.
I thought of that, so we have to discuss it with the girls.
Well, we have plenty of
Shazam,
time.
unfortunately, may have to be put to sleep because he's very old and he's in a lot of pain. He can barely walk.
And he's having
He's like
trouble.
16 years old, and that's outrageously old for a dog of his size. Usually big dogs don't last till 12, but he's gone beyond that.
And he's having trouble holding his bowels.
He's having trouble holding himself, plus his eyes are like this. And when a dog's eyes are squinting, it means they're in pain. I will be in New York if they do it because I couldn't be here. I wouldn't allow it. If I knew they were taking him to have that done, I'd stop them. So they have to wait for me not to be here. It's going to be very sad for me because Shazam, he's been a real buddy and a good boy. This is the
And we have a
hard
pack,
part.
you guys. It's like we have
Again, interrupting.
It's okay.
I'm going to put a cork in your mouth.
No, you're not.
If I were on television, I would say something else I put in your mouth.
You're right.
That shuts you up. That's the only time you shut up when that's in your mouth.
You're right. Don't be a pig.
Oh,
Anyway,
God.
so you guys,
Hey, I'm not finished.
we have to get
Now
this
you
on a
made me
happy
sick,
note,
yeah.
though. We have to get this on a
This
happy
is
note.
serious. Unfortunately, dogs do not live 30, 40 years like we do. I'm so sad about that. So be careful and be wise and think it over before you rescue a dog. And then when you get it, you can't deal with these issues. So it's a very, very serious thing, adopting a dog. It's like
Big
adopting a
responsibility.
child.
Yep. Big
You-
responsibility.
Big responsibility. That's right. You're so cute. I like your little haircut.
This might
You look like a penis. Doesn't he look like a
You're
penis?
right.
He looks like a penis with eyes. A circumcised penis with eyes. Definitely.
Anyway,
What?
we got to bring on our guest.
Yes, penis.
You guys, so we have a very exciting show, you guys, today. We have two great guests. One of them is a very accomplished actor, Antoni Corona, and I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name, but we're going to find out in a second. And then we have Richard Burgin coming on. Should be a lot of fun, but we're going to bring our first guest on now and get the ball rolling. So go ahead and let's bring in Antoni. Hey!
Hey, wow, hey.
Antoni, ¿cómo está?
So wait, is that how we
Antoni?
pronounce it, Antoni?
Yeah, Anthony, like Mark Anthony. People say
No, it's pronounced Antoni.
Yeah, no,
Antoni.
not Antoni, because then they go Antoni Corone,
It's
and then
pronounced
people say,
Antoni.
"Hey, I'm very good friends with Antoni Corone," and that means you're full of shit.
I asked
So-
him that before we brought you on because he's Italian. I asked him, and he said, "No, it's Corona."
You know, the funny thing about it is, you guys had a weird segue. Speaking of dicks, Antoni Corone.
What do you say?
It's like talking-
A funny transition. Speaking of dicks, we have Antoni Corona.
Oh, yeah, well, you know.
You said you look like a penis. You look like a penis, and you were like, whatever.
With his haircut, he looks like a friggin' dick. But anyway, where you from, Antoni?
All right, let's introduce him. Hold on.
Oh,
Hey,
let's
right now we
introduce
want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, the fabulous Antoni Corona. Hello and welcome to the show. This
Thank
is
you,
my
thank you,
previous
thank
co-host Ron Russell, and now you can
Ron.
tell them where you're from.
I'm from land of the Cleves, Cleveland, Ohio.
Are you really
From where?
Yes,
Cleveland,
yes,
Ohio?
yes. Round on both ends, high in the middle, Ohio.
Oh, you're one of those American Italians.
I am an Irish Italian.
An Irish
wow.
Italian. You poor thing.
Yeah. So I have my real last name is Cornacchione, CornacchioneQRSTUVWXYZ. And in Ohio, they pronounce it Canacchione. And my dad once said, "Why do you pronounce your name Cornacchione?" And I said, "Well, because that's what it is." And he said, "No, we say Cornacchione." I go, "Look, I may be one of the few people with this last name to become notary, like some national thing or whatever, And if I went on the David Letterman show, and my name, and I was from Arkansas or Tennessee, and my name was Smith, and you all said Smith, Mr. Letterman isn't going to go, hello, Mr. Smith. I'm going to pronounce it correctly. So while my Irish mom is listening to this banter back and forth, and then I said, do you even know what a cornacione means? A cornacione is like a black cackling bird. There's a mountain range in Italy named after it. And at that exact moment, this happened. A big loud smack, and time stood still. And I looked at my dad's face, and he had bird shit running down his eyes like this. And I looked up on the wire, and there were these black cackling birds. And my mom goes, there's your black cackling bird. Now put the beach chair in the car and let's go home. That's the funniest story that I can tell you. I'm sorry. You may not find it funny. It's hilarious to me. And I'm telling it to you because it's my mom's birthday. God bless her past soul. So I brought her to life because they say,
happy birthday.
But
yeah. People say that they don't really are. They're not gone if you don't tell stories about them, So I'm keeping her alive.
He does it all the time. One of his best friends was Jane Russell, the actress Jane Russell,
sure.
And they were very, very good friends. And so he leaves. That's one of the things he like keeps her name like alive. He brings her up all the time.
Jane Russell was not what people thought. People thought she was a sultry, sexy, tough broad. No, Jane Russell was a very quiet, introvert, kind, sweet, could be bitchy. If the situation arose, she could be very, very cold when necessary. But she was the truest person I have ever met. She never lied. She never backstabbed you or bullshitted you. And she hated Hollywood. And she hated everything Hollywood stood for.
It catches up to you. I'm so jaded by Hollywood myself, but, whatever. It's
how long have you been?
No, wait, I'm not finished. I said to Jane Russell, if you hated Hollywood, how come you were such a superstar? She said, the Lord did that. The Lord made a mistake, made me turn the wrong corner, and I became a famous movie star. She said, I never liked it, and I hated the fact that all they wanted to do was photograph my boobs. And she resented all of that shit. I said, yes, but you were the #1 star for years in the world. I mean, you were the most famous woman there was on the earth. She said, and I hated every minute of it. All I wanted to do, she said, was go to Santa Monica, to the beach house, and hang out with the girls I went to school with and our kids. There you go. So she wasn't a glamorous movie star. She was a regular woman. I love and adore her. I miss her every day. Every day I miss Janie Pooh.
So let's go back to you. First of all, so you live in Ohio. I mean, you're from Ohio, but where do you actually live?
I love Ohio people.
We're like Chicago, but Midwestern people are all very trusting.
Ohio people are so nice.
Thank you.
We have two Megan and Alan live in Ohio.
Did you interrupt me? Did you just interrupt me? I thought, what you interrupted me for, man? I would feel what the fuck I was going to say.
What did he say?
He said, did you just interrupt me?
Yeah, but I'm not.
That guy did.
Yeah, but you see, wait.
I'm teasing.
I have to lead my guests. That's my job. I segue you into
teasing you.
No, I know that. But I want to clear it up for the people that are going to get offended and not like him.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. No, I was backstage in the green room listening to it, and I thought I would meld right into the flow of it.
No, that was perfect. I loved it.
No, because I segue you into in other words, we lead you into what you talk about.
Okay, so this is my first time, so I don't know how it works. So go ahead.
That was going to be
Thank you.
Now I'm going to take back what I said about Ohio people.
Oh, well, okay.
Some Ohio people are nice. And
wait, so now you live in Chicago?
Negative. No, I live in Hollywood, Florida, near Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, I knew you had to live in Florida because I'm from Florida, and I know I met you back in the day. I was an extra in I've been an extra in tons of your films, even that you were in. And I used to Mark McCauley and his wife, like they used to put me in things and stuff like once in a while. And I know you know who they are because they were like the cheese down there. Yep. So I knew you had to be from Florida. I actually met him in Boca. We moved to Pennsylvania a year later. But I grew up in South Florida, so I went to the University of Florida. I lived in Hollywood. I lived in Fort Lauderdale. I lived in Boca.
Wow. I came down here.
Darling.
I came down here as
With all the rich Jews.
When did you go down there?
I came down here in like 1978-ish to be a carpenter. I was a carpenter, rough housing, like building trusses and stuff. That's what I had done in Ohio. And I was also a music critic, and I was also a DJ, a club DJ. It's a long story. I did a variety of things, and I came down here because I played rugby, and there was a guy on the team who lived in Florida, and it looked fun.
All right.
And I wanted to get out of Willoughby, Ohio.
So wait, how did you get into acting then?
Yeah, I was going to say.
So acting was a thing that I guess I always aspired to do. I wanted to be a radio, like a newscaster, perhaps, something like that. I was pretty shy, and they were filming. I was a lifeguard on Hollywood Beach, and they were filming Porky's 2 near my shack stand. And I went to watch, and I got kicked off the set because they said, you can't be here, you're in the shot. And I said, well, is this a real movie? They said, yeah. And I said, well, who are those guys? They're the stars. I said, get out of here, man. Are you shitting me? I can do that. Can I be in your movie? This is my first day ever. I was on the movie. I got upgraded before lunch by doing an unscripted stunt. It's a long story in itself, but... And then it turned out like, hey, do you need a jerk? You need an asshole? You need somebody that's sarcastic? I got just a guy for you. And I was, I was built, but I wasn't like now, like The Rock or anything. And all my agents and people would say, wow, you got to quit lifting weights. All you're going to be able to play is cops and bodyguards. And I'm like, so what? I'll do that. Let me do that. So
I worked at a movie theater in high school. And Porky's was one of the first Porky's when it came out. That was one of the big films. Porky's 2 wasn't as good as the first Porky's was. The first one was hilarious, but the second one was a lot of fun. But if that's the way you got actually in to get started, you always play an asshole then?
Pretty much.
He always plays a mobster. So he plays a gangster, a cop, or a priest every time.
I can see all of those. He gets a full head of hair, man.
No, only because of my Brooklyn accent. I'm 84 years old. So when I speak Brooklyn, it's the antique Brooklyn that nobody speaks anymore. In other words, my accent is gone with the wind. They're all dead. No. So if they need a real mafioso without a fake, when these actors try to sound like mafia, they sound like shit. When they overdo it with the mine is real. So when I work, it's authentic. And that's why they hire me as a hood.
Let me ask you a question real quick, Antoni, before we go forward. Do you have the volume on your thing up all the way?
My thing. I have a stupid headset like this. But do you have the sound up all the way? Okay, just because it's a little bit hard to hear you. So I'll do this. Copy over, Roger.
Oh, that's better, actually. We can hear you.
Yeah, I'll do that. Oh,
so wow. I would think now, because you're Italian, don't they cast you as a hood?
Yes.
No, it has nothing to do with my Italianism because I don't look like a quintessential Italian. When I was put on Oz as one of the heads of the Sicilian mob there in the cell block, there was a thread that everyone said, what the hell is this guy doing here? And my name was the only thing that really rang resonant with my lineage. And I read for The Sopranos a few times, and the whole stereotypical Goomba Italian thing is like I tried very hard not to fall into that. So I read for The Sopranos, like I said many times, and I wasn't the quintessential Italian guy. I've played many mobsters, but it's an attitude, kind of. And no, I don't have the New York accent. I can affect the thing like da, but otherwise, no.
No, when they speak that way, that's the stupid mafia guy.
Yeah. And the world is full of them.
Literally.
Yes.
And they're all jerking each other off because yo, Gabu, que papatura, hey man, you get the thing, you eat the mozzarella, hey, go fuck yourself. Grow up and educate yourself and articulate.
No, that when I have to play that, but mine is different because I order automatically start talking like this. You know what I'm saying to you? I ain't kidding around no more. You know, I'm telling you the truth. You got to listen to what I'm saying or forget about it. You're going to go right under the ground. You're going to go in the earth. You're going to go in the earth dead. Now, I could do that Italian also.
So the Irish is the same. You know, you got Irish gangsters, and I just play those types and cops.
A lot of actors, multi-millionaire Academy Award winners that only play those parts. De Niro and the other one.
For the longest time, I thought I would change my name just to see if I would be hired or seen without my name. I went by Corone back when I was doing Oz, Tom Fontana. I changed it to Corone because no one could pronounce it. There was like, give me the guy with the long last name. And Tom Fontana, who was the showrunner for Oz, called me a pussy. Said, what's wrong with your real name?
Casting goes by your last name. They'll run, if they're looking for an Italian mafia, they'll run all the Italian names in the end to see their pictures and what they've done. That's how they cast you in certain movies. So your last name, now my name is Russell. That's not my name. I took it from Jane because I was in love with Jane when I was 16 years old. By
the way, there's a Ron Russell also that I knew very well that lived down here in Florida. He was Don Johnson's bodyguard on Miami Vice and Nash Bridges. He was a consummate stuntman. He was a national black belt. Ronnie Russell ended up being a paramedic on Telemundo, and then he passed just recently. Autistic son. What a gentleman. What a wonderful, wonderful man.
A great name, too.
Well, my real name I couldn't use because my real name is Rolando Rocco Cesarigo, and you can't use that, can you?
You can nowadays.
Now you could, but back when he started.
Listen, when I started, I couldn't get work. You know why? I was black. Right now, as I got older, I got more blonde, white looking. Yeah. My hair's jet black. My skin is like a Schwarzer. Forget about it. I get dark. And I was too ethnic. They wanted Tab Hunter, Troy Donahue, all those blonde, blue-eyed Americana people. So Sal Mineo was the first. When I knew Sal, well, I met him a lot of times, and I said to him, "You're the first Italian, dark, swarthy-looking person to get work." And he said, "You're right." He said they wouldn't hire him either because he was too ethnic-looking. You couldn't be ethnic in early movies. You had to look like Jimmy Stewart, who looked like nobody. You didn't know what Jimmy Stewart was.
I remember an agent. I was trying to get an agent in New York when I first went up there, and I ended up getting Oz on my own, more or less. And I shopped agents, and I went to them, and they, one of them said to me, I don't know really what to do with you. You're handsome, but you're not, and you're fit, but you're not jacked, and you're ethnic, but you're not, and I said, give me my shit back, because that means I could be all of those. So you're seeing it completely incorrectly, and you're not a person that I would even want to entertain being represented by. And luckily for me, I was able to convince an agency to do it. And it's a boutique agent. And I know how the system works now. When we talked about being jaded, and Jane was jaded and stuff, because I understand the system. And these kids, I'm going to call them kids, people in the business now with self tapes and all this nonsense. You don't think a producer knows that you're reading it off a cue card and that you've done it 1,000 times. You walk in a room and you got one shot like an Olympic skier, and you don't freeze up, and you're in front of a room and you can take direction. That's the world I came up in. And I don't think these people can even.
That's the real world.
Also, looking like Tony Curtis when I was young didn't work for me either, because Tony Curtis was there, and I don't know. A lot of them thought I looked like him. A lot of people still think I do now, even as an old bag. I look like Tony.
Well, that's worked for me. Quite the opposite. I've been. I was a cheaper version of Ray Liotta for a while. I was a cheaper version of. Some people say I resembled Ed Harris. I mean, back in the day. So it's a familiar-esque face.
You must though for Ed Harris. You're like too big for Ed Harris.
Who's big?
Him.
He's big.
Me, yeah.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'10" only.
Oh, you're not that big though.
No, I got a big head. You know why I got a big head? It's got a lot of shit going on right here. I pushed all the hair out. Fuck me, man.
So wait, let me do some bragging for you so people know. So you guys, Antoni Corona, here's some of the things you would have seen him in. Now, I didn't see the new Exorcist movie, but you're in the new Exorcist movie Believer, right?
Yeah, but it's of minimal consequence. It was the fact that it was a thing. It didn't work out.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of these other films I have seen. So you guys, he was in We Own the Night with Joaquin Phoenix, Eva Mendes, Robert Duvall, and Mark Wahlberg. Bad Boys 2, which I'm an extra in the first one.
Oh, wow.
Martin Lawrence, Gabrielle Union, Will Smith, Peter Stormare, John Cena. I love John Cena. Michael Shannon, Joe Pantoliano. The Devil's Trap, Michael Pare, Bruce Dern, Richard Grieco, Courtney Palm, and Alyssa Dowling. And the reason I brought that one up is because except for Bruce Dern, all those people have been on our show.
No kidding. And you're bringing on Andrew Stevens. Andy and I did a Swamp Thing episode way back in the day on syndicated television in Orlando.
Okay, that's fun. That's fun. So yeah, he's coming on when we come back from vacation. And Ron was actually friends with his mom.
Oh, Stella.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
I love Stella. I love Stella Stevens.
And then you were also.
Let me talk about Stella for a minute. Stella Stevens was one of the sweetest, kindest, most entertaining movie star you'll ever want to meet. She was lovely.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Did you ever meet Stella Stevens?
I did not. No, I did not. But when you talk to Andrew, remind him of the two giant Mayans whose grave we robbed.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll remind him. I also wrote on here Fatal Getaway, and I only wrote it down because 2 weeks ago we had Fedor Steer on, who played the crazy neighbor, I think, or something. The ones that really matter to me, I mean, I've been in a million things. And some of them are small and some of them are big. It's different to tell. The ones that I'm most proud of was by the way, I'm proud of all of them because I was able to make it through all of the gates to be able to be accepted. We Own the Night was probably one of the hugest ones, as was I Love You, Philip Morris with Jim Carrey and Ewan McGregor. And Reservation Road was named after a New York Times bestselling book. And there were 4 Academy Award. Joaquin Phoenix was my second movie with Joaquin. Terry George directed it. And it was Mark Ruffalo, Jennifer Connelly, John Broccoli, a big, huge.
And it only lasted in the theaters for about 10 days because it was so depressing. And then I did a thing called Sunlight Junior for Showtime. I did a variety of HBO movies that I was proud of. Somebody's got to shoot the picture with Arliss Howard and Roy Scheider and Bonnie Bedelia and the Carradines. So I've been blessed, you know what I mean? And I started get to a place where I wanted to sort of make my own content, which is now the rage. And
we're doing that too. Ron's working on now.
Listen, is Florida still good on commercials? When I lived in Florida, all the commercials were shot down there.
Not as much.
Major with commercials?
But Florida is now what Florida was then was an epicenter. Miami was an epicenter. Greenwich Studios and all that North Miami stuff. Now, tax incentives in Florida, I forget which governor said, well, yeah, you already shot a movie in Miami. Now we got to go over here to Tampa. We got to go over here to this one and that one. Such a big state that it's no longer a Florida thing. So it's spread out everywhere, and it's spread out because of tax incentives. We don't have them anymore. So Georgia took them all, and Georgia's now the epicenter.
Yes.
The only reason why it worked out for me was because I was at the very beginning of that place where everybody in the world came to. And I would go, much like you probably did, 4 or 5 a week. And there was no fax machine to get your side. You had to drive to D. Miller's place or Wyman's place. Now, Wyman was working with Miller. She didn't even have her own place back then. And pick up your sides and then go back 2 more days later or go drive through the Grove in rush hour. It was horrific. I had a terrible track record with commercials. I had a great track record with film. I guess I'm a minimalist. I don't have that. Wow, I really like the taste of that shit.
That was fun. Also, though, because I wrote down the crew because I like everybody in it, and Ron is friends with Lainie Kazan and Burt Reynolds. He was friends with Burt Reynolds. Oh, yeah. Richard Dreyfuss is in it. Dan Hedaya.
Let's talk about Burt. Every time you mention a name, I have to tell our audience. Burt Reynolds was everybody's buddy.
I did 5 with Burt.
If he liked
5 movies?
5, yeah.
That's awesome.
Stunts or whatever. Sure, yeah.
If Bert liked you, you were his pal. He stuck up for you if you were on a set and somebody mistreated you, or if anything he didn't like, he was a buddy. He was there for you. Burt Reynolds, in my book, was top drawer, the best.
Yeah, very much, very much. He would fly his helicopter and drop him off, or drive his Florida State Winnebago to the set. Sad that he passed. He has a conservatory in Jupiter that occasionally I've gone and done seminars as a coach there for those people that work there.
So Burt Reynolds' brother was
Jimmy.
Was my high school football coach.
Yeah, what Bubbles? What do they call him? Jimmy's. What he's got a nickname? Hooks.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, it's Hooks.
Time ago, but his nephew, his brother's son, was a good friend of mine through high school. You know, that's you're talking a million years ago because I'm old. But I went to Forest Hill High School in West Palm Beach.
Oh wow!
And when I was in high school, he was our football coach. I was a tennis player.
I never worked with Bert, but I knew him socially, and he was always at the parties I went to because Lee Winkler was his business manager, and every time Lee had an event, Bert was there. And I got to tell you, he never snubbed anybody. This guy would go around the room of 300 people practically and know everybody's name and hit you on the back and say, "Hey, how you doing? How you doing?" Just a wonderful person.
He had a charmed life. Had a charmed life up until the end. All the pain meds and stuff caught up to him, sadly.
Yes.
I was supposed to see him at the very end. Nicole Bordenick, who was a very good friend of his, said, "Let's go up and visit Bert." And I couldn't because when I heard the condition he was in.
You wouldn't even like, it's not the same guy.
Oh, he was a victim of paralysis and his mind was gone. And it was
he did a guest starring episode of what was that spy thing that they shot down here?
Yeah, he did a TV
Burn
show.
Notice. He did his own stunts on it. And they said, "You don't have to, Bert." He goes, "Yeah, I do."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go to back to Mobs for a minute because I actually have a trailer for Mob King and Robert Lasarda's in it. Robert Lasarda's a good friend of ours. I just talked to him the other day, and we actually met him at a movie premiere like a year or two ago. And you also have a movie you just did that, and I couldn't figure out because it's in Florida. That's Silent Partners, because I'm friends with Ciro. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name because we're Facebook friends, so I don't really know him.
Yeah, Ciro. But if you're from Italy, it's Ciro.
Ciro, okay, Ciro
DiPaggio. Ciro
DiPaggio.
Yeah.
So, and I noticed that his premiere is in Florida, and I was like, I wonder if you actually live in Florida, because somehow I had it in my head maybe you were in New York. But let's talk about some of these like mobs. So Mob King has a lot of people.
So here's how that worked out. Mob King originally was a guy that I knew from the stunt world, called me and said, "Hey, this guy's doing a casting for a mafia film at his house." And I said, "Well, it isn't shit then, because I didn't hear about it." Meaning, not that it was that, but it was non-union. It was off the radar and stuff.
Right.
So it was the first time he was trying to do it. And I ended up calling him or something and jokingly said, it's a Florida mandate that if you want a gangster in your show, you got to hire me. It's just the way it is. It's not fair. That's life in the big city. And we ended up knowing each other from before. He was a singer in a band like Duran Duran. And so I said, "You know what? I'd be very willing to help you out." I talked to him, and he had these really brilliant ideas, and he had a cinematic way of seeing things. Long story short, I said, "I know a bunch of artisans. I've been here a long time, and let's all have sit down. I'll bring 12 different types in, and we'll have a meeting." And at the end of the meeting, pretty much everybody passed except a guy named Jokes Yanez and me. And they didn't see, he never acted before. He was a natural. He was gifted. I walked him through, some things. And in essence, we designed a web series because we thought that was going to be the next big thing. I was a judge for the International Emmys, and they had a panel that year of webisodes. So we were doing 5 to 7 minute episodes, and I basically was a showrunner for 5 episodes. Then there was
a movie. Then you put all the episodes into a movie.
No, then we put it all into a pilot. It was a 45-minute thing. And then there was some friction between the three of us, the Three Musketeers, and a lot of friction. There was a thing that was supposed to happen in Spain. We all had to sign off, Jokes and I. I'm not going to get into all of it. It was complete bullshit. It never worked out. The poor guy, Cyril.
I love the way how like you just say that though, like because that's what he does too. He just calls bullshit and says it too. So I
called it right out of the box, and I was spanked for it. Oh, we were going to use him as a this and a that, and then blah blah blah. But Cyril is a genius. So let me tell you that right out of the box. He has a very good sense of whatever, everything, and if it wasn't for him accruing an audience of millions. And standing in a hot tub telling everybody how wonderful he is and getting people to believe him, we wouldn't have had an audience. So we had an audience. And
what was this you're speaking about?
Ciro
DiPaggio. So
he's a friend of mine on Facebook.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Great guy.
He's a director. He's an actor.
He's a producer. He's a producer.
Okay.
Yeah.
An actor too, though, because he
actor, director, producer, know it all. Okay.
Yeah, no, he's not a director. I mean, he could be eventually. So that I was co-directing with Jokes on these 5 episodes. They were supposed to go to Spain, redo a whole nother thing, turn it into a different deal. And then while I was in New York doing the Wu-Tang Clan saga or something, Jokes always wanted to pitch it so that he could direct things on his own without being a co-director. And so they were going to write another version of it and scrap it. By the way, as a showrunner, we were constantly looking for funding, and at some point I would have an episode ready, and he'd go, we got to change it. Got to put this girl in it because her husband knows a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy that blew a push and got $1 million somewhere or whatever. So it was horrific, and it jaded me to being a part of creative. So long and short of it, they did this new version of the Mob King, which is great, good for them. You know, it is not much synergy with what I liked about the Mob King before, but it is. I show up in the end of it and the very beginning of it for the possibility of a sequel, but we couldn't finish it money wise. And then basically another guy came in, Antoni Corona, and he came in and he's like, "Yeah, I'll buy your movie, and I own it." So in order to get it made, that's what had to happen. Basically, Cyril kind of sold his soul to this Caliendo guy, and he owns it. So now
the indie film business, though, it's just terrible. It's very
yes and no. So if you can make a movie for $100 or $200 or $300,000,
it's garbage.
Wait, hold up. If you're the odds of you being able to sell that
are good
for more than that are excellent. So you've made your money, right? So firstly. Secondly, relative to what you're saying, Ron, yeah, of course it's shit money, but you don't need to have 40Ks and Condors and 35 millimeter Panavisions or a first and second and a third AD. You don't need all that.
You're talking about money. You're talking about money, making money.
Oh, yes.
I am old school. I'm in it to make a film, to make an art, to make a story. If it makes money, hallelujah.
Yeah.
But today, you cannot produce a film without your star. Get Brad Pitt, you got $50 million. You don't get Brad Pitt, you get shit. You don't get a nickel. But the script is wonderful. The script is better than Gone with the Wind. I don't give a shit, says the financier. I need a name, a big name.
Well, the only person that you need a name for is distribution. That old template of distribution no longer exists. People
That's right. You're right.
It's all streaming. So they don't give a fuck about your star quality. They don't care who you are. As long as well, not all of them. As long as your shit is crafted well. So that's what Ciro did with Silent Partners. You got a lot of guys like me that are kind of recognizable and no A-listers, no anything. Lasorda, me, a few other Gary.
Oscar Torres in it. He's been a guest on our show.
And so there's a lot of guys that are in it that are recognizable faces from a bunch of other shit. whatever, TV stuff, HBO stuff, like I have been, series regulars that weren't of huge consequence, but they were just in the game. And with the amount of people that he had, he was able then to reconfigure this thing that this guy Jay Bishop wrote, which was supposed to be a pilot. First it was a short, then it turned into a film, then it didn't work out. There was so much drama behind the scenes with the personalities, and oh my God, it was insane, that now it exists as a film after going through a majority of rewrites, and they just finished principal photography.
So wait, let me ask you a question. So in general, because so I'm a producer, I have a whole slate of films, but I can't, and they're higher budgets than that. Let's say they're like 2 to 7 million, most of them. But I can't get anybody to finance any of them, because even if I have people that are, everybody knows who they are, they're not big enough. Like they really, in that price range, they want like an AA list, somebody in the top 100 on IMDb, basically.
Yeah. It seems to me that the way to get around that is to have an AA list DP or editor or director, and then you don't need a cast of really known actor types. But by the way, 2 million to 5 million is considered low. You said, Ron, shit, it's nothing.
That's a low budget movie.
It's so low that it might as well be shot on 8mm, because you're using B people. And now Quentin did a very good job with it. He took people that were once and then put them back in the world. And that's a business model that worked for him. And now he got to be able to. But as a director or a producer, what you need to do is return the investment. A. B, you need to come in on time and under budget. And you have to have a story that's credible and that people are interested in. Now it can get legs with word of mouth.
Yes.
There's no longer a theatrical release that counts at all. Doesn't matter. Doesn't mean shit, especially when it's day and date, same time they're released. So now with streaming, you almost don't even know what your numbers are. You don't know how well you're received. And what they do is they give you a buyout. You know what? I'll let you make this movie. Here you go. Here's X amount of dollars. I'm not giving you any more. I'm not giving you any less. And and if you make it under that, that's fantastic. And I don't know you shit. I'm not going to pay you any residuals. That's how I survived. That's how 90% of us in the business survived. And now there are no residuals for the most part. Back in the day,
I would like to tell these investors, but Jimmy won't let me. Listen, Fran Drescher, you said won't get you shit. Bette Midler won't get me shit for a movie. I want these people, but they told us they're not big enough to get the money. So I would like to say to the investor, listen, you motherfucker, give me $25 million and I'll get you Angelina Jolie. I'm asking for $3 million. What the fuck you think you get for $3 million?
Well, you know what, Ron? That's the thing. This is like, think about this now. If you were a person that was in the club, right? Would you let everybody fucking get in the club too? No, you can't. You're going to make it so difficult to get in the club that you can't get in the club. Because if everybody could do it, if every asshole that's non-union could make their own shit and make the same money as somebody who's paid their dues and as DGA, as Writer Guild, it's a completely different thing. The Baccarat table is made so that you can only play at it if you got a certain money in, right? So who cares? Don't play Baccarat. Beat the system and start banging out streaming shit. And that's what Cyril's model is. That's exactly what it is.
Listen, I'm from the day of the studios where they owned you. You were under contract. And listen, my script years ago, I could have sent to Warner Brothers and it would have gone through the reading room. And if they liked it, they would have made it with their stars. It was so simple to have good movies. Today, there are wonderful scripts out there. I have read them. Jimmy gets 1 million scripts. The computer sends us scripts. I get 50.
People send me scripts.
I get scripts every day.
Well, so it's all genre driven, man.
Hang on. Some of them are brilliant.
Yeah.
But I know they'll never get funded.
So we sound like I used to walk uphill both ways in the sand with no shoes on, and I had short legs and my balls dragged on the asphalt. That's what we sound like, right? But those days are over. So now
we should bring them back.
You can't.
Tyler wants to do that. Tyler and Atlantic City.
And the reason why they can't is because it's all run by Wall Street now. It's not run by who goes to the movies. It's run
by China and Russia.
Well, that too. So here's the deal.
It's like,
What's going to happen is all going to turn around someday because they need tent poles.
content.
There would be no Harry Potterville. There would be no Jurassic Park. There would be none of these things that are making money by ancillary funding, right? So you got a theme park, you got merchandise, you got toy figures. If you're doing streaming, nobody gives a shit. It's buried. It's among a million other things. So some people will have a reserve for these tent poles. And these tent poles, they're still trying. And since COVID, the whole whatever. It's just a terrible thing.
So wait, let me ask you a question about that then, because so what is the ideal budget range you need to be into to do? Like, I have a friend, and all they do is make like $100,000 movies that get put on Tubi, but they make their money back always. They always make all their money back.
And I'm in one of them right now. We shoot in August, okay?
Congratulations.
Yes,
But look,
Just let me get this statement in. There's no professionalism at all. They
Well,
shoot it
there's
and it's
some-
done.
You're right. So here you go. If you were in a position, Ron or Jim, to be able to make enough content, then that's what you want to do. And you want to get in the trenches and everything's going to fall apart and your guy's not going to show up. It's no different than a $100,000 movie than it is with a $100,000 movie. There's going to be scheduling issues, weather issues, location issues, sound equipment's going to break, whatever the fuck. All that's going to happen. Right. But if you love it and you want to be in the world and you can work for 14 days and you do pre-production for 2 months and you can continue making widgets and you make your little team and you go out and you have fun and you can do 3 a year and you can make yourself $150,000, would you rather than do that than sit there and hope that somebody buys your 500 million thing while you're jacking off? Fuck no, I don't want to do that. I want to be in the game. I only got so much time. That's what's worried. That's what's great about this new business model. People are making this stuff digitally, and it's doing it for a minimal amount of money, and it takes a minimal amount of time. And you just have to craft a great story with decent talent, and you got to have your deliverables. The salt shaker has to make noise when it lands on 203 on the digit counter, and that's the business model that Zero and consequently me are trying to join after.
We know a lot of people who do it. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Mahal brothers.
They do a good movie.
But they do it. They're the only thing that they do different that Zero doesn't do and that you probably don't do is they actually crowdfund. But they've raised like something like $15 million crowdfunding for movies.
Pay to play.
So that used to be the case. That used to be the case. And then once those payer plays and the crowdsourcing stuff happened, and he was able to get a look and meet people through AFM or whatever, now he's got a Rolodex. Or he aligns himself with somebody with a bigger Rolodex than me next time. And then he'll use Sonny this guy and Bobby the Gooba over here and use his Rolodex until he climbs the ladder, until he now has the ability to contact somebody who's a distributor and go, hey, I got a widget. You want to buy it? Well, I'll buy it if you got this, and this in it. Okay, fantastic. What are you going to give me? Well, you know what? I'll give you 45% and I'll keep 55%. I don't know if those are his numbers, but he'll go, fuck yeah, sure. You know what? Gets on Facebook, goes, I'm a filmmaker. I got everybody working for me. I manage it all, and I'm doing what I love to do. And he got out of prison, and he's fighting so much sickness. This guy's a miracle. This guy's unbelievable. I love this guy.
I like him a lot. The guy that we're talking about, Zero, the guy that.
I thought you didn't like him.
I love him.
No, he loves him.
Like a brother.
So what kind of budgets though? Like, are you like? Let's say you're doing your own films. You're trying to keep them under 300,000. Where are you trying to work that you think that you're going to be able to get the investors paid back and make a little bit of money? What is the sweet spot?
So I'm not really in that part of it. What I've done is I've come on as a stunt coordinator or a producer to bring goods and services and open doors. As far as raising money and making the final deal, I haven't. And as far as making money on the final deal, I haven't. I basically gave shit away in hopes that I would be a part of the end game. And it didn't work out that way because I didn't have it contractually written down. Basically, the way he looked at it is, look, I paid you. You said you wanted this. I gave it to you. Fuck you. I own you now. He wouldn't say it with that crass of a way, but that's the bottom line.
So you basically, though, then when you're getting involved in them, you're bringing all the assets, like, actors,
I'm not going to say I did initially. On a very small.
You could dude. I don't mean on his film. I mean in films in general. When you're going in and working on these lower budget films, you bring a lot of things that other people don't have because of all the contacts and because you've been an actor for 50 years or 40 years.
Right, and it's still pay or play, really, Ron, because at the end of the day, I'm like, yeah, you know what? Well, I can call so-and-so and he'll be in your movie. Lizardic, I can call, whomever, whatever, and he can call, and then he can call, and he can call, and then those people have a bigger agent, and on. It just it's called networking. There's nothing wrong with it. It is what it is. But they're stepping stones. They're ladders. They're rungs on a ladder. As soon as you've outgrown, if he doesn't have synergy, if not he, but if anyone doesn't have synergy with you, and you don't bring the goods and services that you're entitled to, then you're no longer of value to anybody in any realm.
Right.
It's a fair way. It's a fair business model. Luckily for me, I'm able to nail, I guess, a performance on whatever kind of character they want me to play so far. But there is a big market for mafia stuff still to this day, and he's capitalizing on that. And it's still that, me and Bobby the Goomba, we go down here, we do to this, we do to that. That's cool. It's great. I like to be more than that, but I'm not saying that that's all they are, but some of them, that's all they are.
Listen, I was born in Red Hook, Brooklyn in 1940. Al Capone was born there. All the mafioso real people I grew up with. My father knew them all. He went to the Italian club in Red Hook where Gotti's father, all those hoods were there. So I was raised with all the boys. I knew all of them, all right? And I know the real story with those people. They are the nicest people in the world. If you're in business with them and you cross them, you're dead. Period. But isn't that what they say Hillary Clinton did? She killed a bunch of people. So what's the difference?
There is none. You know what I mean?
I know the so-called mafia.
I love that.
That were wonderful people. I know that the lady down the block's husband died and she didn't have any money. And these so-called mean mafia went and gave her money and took care of her and her kids. This is what the Italians do. So I get angry when they think that all the Italians are hateful, mean killers. They are not.
Well, guess what, Ron? Until everybody like me stops making cartoon bullshit, fucking De Niro, Scorsese movies, and sadly, there's a market for that. And says, you know what? Like everybody, like everybody who was woke said, yeah, no, I'm not going to do blackface. No, I'm not going to. Yes, master, I'm going to cut the grass. They're not going to play that shit. This is exactly what we Italians are doing. I don't fucking play that. I don't give a fuck, man. I don't need the money that bad. I don't want to be a cartoon. I don't care. I don't care.
He doesn't like to do it either.
No, I'm going to be in a movie.
It's embarrassing to us as a society.
Yes. I'm in a movie soon as it gets funded. I play in 1944 an Italian mafia guy who's married to a Jewish woman that's a bookie. And it's a comedy, but it shows the beautiful Jews how they are and the Italians how they are in their home with their families, with their tradition, with their respect for each other. I have news for you. If the mafia, which runs a lot of Washington, but if the mafia took the government over, which I wish it would, this bullshit wouldn't be going on because all the mafia, they're Republicans. They're all Republicans.
We're catering to the weakest link, Ron. That's the bottom line.
And they're going to be tough. The Republicans
I have to say, I love the way you smiled when you brought up the Hillary Clinton killed everybody. So let's move this conversation.
No, but it's true.
We have a few minutes left. Here's something I like to ask all the actors, and you've been into so many cool things. So this is more of a get to know you a little bit. Bucket list, male and female actor that you have never worked with that you think would be great to work with, and they could be living or dead. And then if you could have been in any movie that's ever been made, what movie would you like to have been in? Sexy Beast. Oh, that's a good movie.
What movie?
Sexy Beast.
Yeah, I would have. Ben Kingsley, I'd like to work with. I'd like to work.
Kingsley. Who's the other guy? Ben Kingsley. Who's the other guy? Winston. Ray Winstone?
Yeah, the blonde guy, the heavy blonde guy. Yeah. I would like to work with Guy Ritchie also. So I get flown to England every year for a convention on a series that I did for the BBC. And part of me wants to go there and shop myself as an American in England to work. But I like the movie The Gentleman. That's the kind of stuff that I would like to do, you know. And as far as working with a female, There's not really, I mean, there's different ways I would like to work with some because they're pretty, because of their talent, some of the, but they're divas, I think, most of them. And hey, you need to get changed for your next song. Okay, sure. Let me go over here in the corner, change my pants, change my shirt, get mic'd up. There's a 20,000 minute makeup situation and a hair thing and a fucking team. Get the fuck out of here.
You don't like that either. I think that's hilarious.
My first movie was with Tab Hunter and Sophia Loren. I would love to work with Sophia Loren today, because in that movie I didn't work with her. But now today I would love to. What would you do? Would you like to work with Sophia Loren?
I don't know. I don't really care who I work with. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't make me nervous. It doesn't make me proud. I just want to be able to offer something. I've worked, it was pointed out, and I'm not trying to brag, but my dad died. When he died at the funeral, my cousins came up to me and said, "Oh my God, la 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 la, you're so." And I said, "Well, someone pointed out that maybe it was a publicist of mine that I've worked with 40 Academy Award, Emmy Award, Golden Globe Award, SAG Award winners or nominees, whether they were directors or actors, and I was hired by them and worked with them and held my own for them. No one's made me nervous. No one's made me nervous.
You have something unique though that most actors don't have, and I mean you have a cool look and everything, but when you go down your IMDb, everybody, even the biggest stars, have shit fucking crappy movies at the bottom, where they first started and stuff. You don't have, like, your body, when you first started stuff, you don't have movies that just totally, like, sucked. You don't have 20, you have 100 credits and 20 of them are like, the cat fucking scratched my eye out or some stupid shit.
And you know why, Jimmy? Because I was in that epicenter, because people came to Florida to film movies that mattered. They went on location. They had a party. They went on location. They were in Florida, and and I was. James Cameron once told me, "What are you doing in Florida, man?" Bobby Conrad, remember Conrad Black Sheep Squadron? He flew me out to his house at Bear Valley, and I did 2 pilots, one for CBS and one for ABC. They're like, "What are you doing here? Why are you here?"
So wait, do you think Florida's still
wait a minute?
good?
Do it now while there's time. Everybody that I knew that had connections are dead. Because don't forget, I'm 84. These people were 10 years older than me. So if they were alive, they'd be almost 100. So now I live with all these young people who don't know what they're doing, and they don't know me, and I don't know them. So it gets worse as you get older.
Here's what my problem is. I should have kept in touch with people more. I expected they would remember me and use me again. And there's been a good amount of that. James Gray's used me 4 times and so on and so on. But, you write your thank you. Hey, man, thanks. It was great working for you. Keep me in mind for your next project. And then they know who you are, Antoni. And then after 4 or 5 of these, like the guy that was in the movie thing with you, Antoni, remember me? And after about a year of that, you just feel like an asshole. Hey, hi, how you doing? I don't know if you remember me, but I'm the guy that shot the bazooka at the fucking thing. I don't have the. That's why I admire Cyril, though. He doesn't give a fuck. He'll go out there and promote and promote and promote. I feel stupid doing it. Like people say, hey, you were fucking really fantastic. I go, really? You think so? I guess.
So do you think Florida is still an okay place to be to make movies or no?
No. I mean, to make movies, if you need a tropical environment, yeah. If you need some artisans, there was a year when Bad Boys 2 and Fast and the Furious and 4 or 5 other things were happening, and they couldn't even find enough people to crew up. Now the same thing is in Atlanta. If I was younger and someone said, "What do you want to do? How do you get into it?" I would say I would go to an epicenter like Atlanta, where there's tax incentives, where they're not going to grow up, and I would. I'll grow. They won't stop. And I would work as an AD, and I would amass a Rolodex, and then I would make my own shit. I would get a bunch of I would know enough artisans to be able to do that. And they're always looking for content. There's so many streaming venues that they're looking for content. But you want to hit a home run, you're not going to do that right out of the box unless you're connected again. You want to get on base at 1 out of 3 times, which by the way puts you in the Hall of Fame. Fuck yeah, I'll do that. I'll do something for 50,000. I'll be in your thing for this. If I talk to you and I look at you real and it's decent and I don't have to worry about the sound guy not plugging in the fucking plug or some bullshit like that, Yeah, all day long, you know.
I actually did
I was on a movie, and I said to the director, "Well, where's the camera?" He said, "Up there." I said, "I thought that was a security camera." That's what they shoot a movie with.
Well,
I mean, it's
first,
amazing.
they do. First time I showed up on Active Valor, I got in this ship. It's a long story, but they had a single lens reflex camera, 35 millimeter, and I'm like, where the hell's the camera? And they had a GoPro on the guy's helmet. They go, that's it. We can shoot 4D. We can shoot 4K, 40K, 4K, whatever it is on this. All we got to do is swap out the capture card. We don't have to worry about the film. We don't have to worry about any of this.
I used to do costume design. When you said Fast and Furious, I was the costume designer on Too Fast, Too Furious.
Oh, I was on Bad Boys too. So, and Out of Time at the same time, and Oz all at once. I was
But you know
flown.
something? When I started in the business in 1959, the cameras were gigantic.
Of course they were.
Tables were huge.
Yeah.
The sets were fabulous. The actors were superstars. Everybody was studio. And that movie was That Kind of Woman with Tab Hunter and Sophia Loren. I played a soldier, 19 years old. I wanted this more than anything. I said, the rest of my life, this is it. If today I were 19 and I went on a set, I'd go home.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know the difference, Ron.
Well,
You would be on a set. You'd be on a set. Your fucking dick would be hard because you'd be on a set.
I wouldn't have known the difference, but the glamour. Nobody knows today the glamour that I knew.
And that's an interesting thing.
Glamour about shooting a movie with superstars. They sat in their chairs on the set. It was just a whole different ballgame.
Well, you know what? It's funny that you should say that. I know your time's at a premium and we're almost done. But one of the things that I really still find is when it's in a big show and you're in it, there's an energy that like you're nervous or more nervous and you're more anxious. And that feeds the performance potentially. Like it's adrenaline, right? When you get on a small thing and no one's there, it's hard for you to feel as cool about it. And part of it is to bring that energy back to where you need to be because it's going to live forever. Eventually, that energy on a big movie, like you're talking about, will wear off. And you'll be the problem. Oh, my God, you're bringing me out of the trailer already. Why'd you call me in at 9 o'clock when you got 3 scenes ahead of me? I should have been brought in at 2. And I don't like that guy touching my hair and all that shit. Well, same shit. The novelty wears off. And if you can work while the novelty wears off, that's why these sitcom people are doing so well. You think they want to show up every week and say the same old nonsense? Cop shows, yeah, the perp took it on the kinky-dinky, went on fucking me, I didn't ma, bought a yo-yo at the fucking 5 and dime. I can't say that shit anymore.
I love it.
No, I just feel that the treatment of maybe because I'm old, they think, what the fuck is this old goat going to do? And then they're shocked when they see that the professionalism that I have is 64 years worth of stage and screen. Okay, 64 years, a lot of years. And I'm not acting conceited and I'm not acting show off. It's just how I work. And I go on a set and I look around and I say, where's the director? And the director was in another room on a television directing. And I thought, oh, this is interesting. The director is, usually I look at the director when the camera's not on me to see if he likes what we're doing.
He couldn't see the director.
But the director was in another room.
That's Video Village, bro. Welcome to it. I was on a thing where the guy was famous. He said, hey, did you talk to so-and-so? How was it working with him? I never even fucking saw the guy. He sent his AD out to talk to me.
No, they give you your sides a minute before they shoot. So you don't even have time to see if there's any changes in your side.
That's the new game. That's the new game. And all these kids that are coming up, that's how they know it.
I can't do it. I can't do it. Now,
I love you.
You know what
we got to go.
You know what I do now? I wear an earplug, and Jimmy gives me my lines.
Oh, an earwig. Those are fine.
No,
a lot of people are using them nowadays.
Yeah. They do it on soap operas. Yeah, sure.
Meryl Streep is using the earplug. Because
you want the truth, you can't handle the truth. That was all earwigs, too.
Oh, my God. That's my favorite movie. That's one of my all-time favorite movies.
Which movie?
Jimmy Starr.
Yes.
Thank you for remembering me. You're a gentleman, sir. I appreciate it.
It was terrific, and you guys can follow Antony on Instagram.
I don't play that. I don't have any of that shit.
You do have an Instagram.
No, it's not me. Somebody else runs it. I don't even know what's on.
Oh. Oh, well, our post got 10,000 likes that I tagged you in.
Oh, God bless you. Thank you so much. Yeah, now that they've heard me, they probably hate me now.
And do you have something? Do you have something getting ready to come out that we should tell everybody to watch?
No, I got a puppy that I'm dealing with. I can't even make a dentist appointment. I don't know what's coming next. It just sometimes it falls off the tree and hits me in the head. And if it does, fantastic. And if it doesn't, I've got 5 like you. Hey, would you be in my movie? Yeah, sure, whatever. 90% of them will never come.
I love that. I love that.
We get that a lot,
I
too.
get that all the time.
Yeah,
You know how many movies I'm in? 10,000 movies.
Wow.
You know how many movies I'm making? 3.
I would like text me or email me when we sign off if we run out of time. Something that you were in of consequence that I could watch and admire.
We'll have some new ones getting ready to come out. We'll send you those. All right. Hey, Antoni, thank you so much.
Okay. Bye.
Great for an interesting
Anthony.
conversation.
I lost the audio, so I don't know what's going on.
And Anthony,
Bye.
the older you get, the more they want you. Remember that. When you're
They can't
84,
hear you anyway.
when you're 84, they're going to want you.
All right. See you later, Juan. All right, everybody. That was Antoni Corona. Our next guest is going to be calling in 1 second, a few minutes, but let's play a quick music break. Let's take it and say, let's play Joya Bruno. Your love is lifting me higher. You guys check out the video. I'm in it. All right. Enjoy. Yeah, it ends abruptly. All right, so everybody, that was Joya Bruno. Your love is lifting me higher. I don't know why it ends like that, but that just does. But if you saw, I was the guy with the blonde hair in it all over at the beginning of it. So it's a lot of fun. And our next guest, I guess, is not here yet, but he should be coming any minute. So what other kinds of things can
And
I talk
Joya
about?
Bruno is one of the nicest people also. She's a good friend of Jimmy's for years, and a friend of mine, for the last couple of years. And she's a regular guy, girl, just sweet.
You guys, she was in the girl group Expose, in case you were wondering. She's in the girl group Expose. They were like one of the biggest selling girl groups of all time before Destiny's Child came on. And they're really cool. They're
and she has the voice that goes beyond being in a band. She did a solo of a song a ballad, and we can't remember the name, Jimmy and I, but we love it.
I have to find that.
If we find that ballad, we'll play it.
There's a remake of James Bond, For Your Eyes Only.
For Your Eyes Only.
A James Bond song, but I don't have it anywhere.
She did it better than the girl that did it originally.
Whoever did it.
Yeah. For Your Eyes Only by
Isn't that funny?
Joy Bruno.
It's fantastic. And I think I have it on a disc someplace, but I don't have it in my iTunes library because my iPod got taken or something, so I don't have it. I never sync my iPod up to everything because it's too difficult to do it. Like, it takes up too much space on your computer.
Whatever that means.
Okay. That's what it means. Hey, so Stefan Bell also had joined us during the show. So, hey, Stefan, what's going on? I'm repeating again, you guys, we're going to be in New York for the next 2 weeks, but we may have a show on the streets of New York. We're going to try to put it together, and then we're coming back live again in our studio here on the 17th of July with Andrew Stevens and the guy from Dream Street. And I was going to play the Mob King trailer, too, like that he was in. Should I play that trailer real quick? Because it's only like a minute long, I think.
I'm really starting to get political about how they portray the Italians. I'm starting to get sick of it because people that meet me sometimes go, "Oh, hey, hey, how you doing, baby?" I don't speak that way, and they talk to me like I'm an idiot. They just disrespect Italian people.
Oh, let's see. Check it out, you guys. Here's the Mob King trailer. Go ahead and play it for everybody. Let's show it real quick.
I didn't really want to see it.
I want to show it.
We made an oath. You know what that means.
Salute!
All those years away from his family. For what? So that when we need real protection, it's all blank stares?
All we got right now is us.
Do you really think he's gonna keep looking for you after this?
The old Dons would never let a violation like this go unpunished.
There's been some serious mishaps leading to bad business.
But I want you to find him.
I would die for Mike and all of these guys, but this is uncharted territory.
You want to be a better husband? You want to be a better father? Then you get them back to life that you and Mia worked so hard for.
We live by it, we work by it, and not anything or anyone can break it.
Hey, everybody. So
it's a quick scene.
Yeah. It just depends. Yes, that's true. We want to wish Jennifer James too a happy birthday today, you guys.
Yes, my buddy, my sweetheart. Jen, happy birthday.
It's her birthday today.
And such a good director too. She's fabulous.
Talk for a minute because I got to figure out where our guest is.
Yes, I was supposed to be in the movie Red River, but when I read the script, I said, I'm on a telephone. And that's it. So that's not for me. That's good for somebody starting off that wants to be seen. If it were a cameo, it's one thing, but no. So I said I would not like to do it because it's just not enough for me. It's 2 sentences on it for a movie. Doesn't pay. To go there, be there, get made up, get different. No. Not that I'm a big shot or a snob, but I'm at a point in my career that I've rebuilt from, my career was over because everybody I knew died and my industry changed. Now I'm like a young person starting off for the first time. And it's difficult to start reissuing yourself. So
So our guest will be here in just 1 second. He's logging in now. And
right. And next month, actually in August, we're shooting in Nevada, Clown Motel 3.
And Los Angeles.
Well, yeah, but just a second. I'm talking about Nevada. We're shooting in the Clown Motel, which is spooky, supposed to be haunted, and it's very disgusting looking, and I hate having to stay there. But they said the motel up the road from Clown Motel is even worse. So I said to Jimmy, I'll sleep in the car, but you can't because in Nevada it's 120 degrees. So I guess
summer.
Huh?
And we're going to be there in the summer.
And we're in the summer. So we're going to have to work it out where we stay in that disgusting motel.
I can't wait, you guys. Dave Bailey, who's been on the show who plays Golden Ager, has an actual, one of the rooms is called the Golden Ager room with a big painting of him in it, and I can't wait to go to the Clown Motel. I'm super excited.
Shooting the movie in it is okay, but at night to sleep in it, no. It's not for me. I like trailers. You have your own trailer, or you have a motel nearby that's like a Hilton, something good.
It's 50 miles away, I think.
What, the Hilton?
Yeah, wherever we...
out in the desert.
I know, to go to a Hilton is like 50 miles away because you got to go to Las Vegas.
Oh.
50 or 60 miles or something like that.
We'll manage. And when we shoot in L.A., that's okay.
Yeah, we're shooting, I think, 1 or 2 days in L.A. and a couple of days in
Nevada.
Yes.
Of course, I have my problem with my little dog. So I think I have permission to bring my dog on the set, but not on the set, but into the shooting. But I don't want to bring him because I'm afraid that he might, if I'm working, somebody may not take care of him and he'll run in the desert. So better he's safe home with my daughter and the other dogs. So I worry about my little boy.
That's right. We're going away now for the longest we've ever left him. Because normally we only leave him for a week, and this time we're leaving him for 2.
And it really destroys me. I miss him so much. My daughter, who watches my dogs, takes pictures of my dog, my little Astro, and every day she sends me a new picture of Astro. It's amazing how these dogs become family. They're just like children.
They sure are.
And that's why I say, if it's hot out, check the concrete. Don't let your dog walk on heat because it does burn their feet. And have water accessible if you're walking your dog in hot surroundings. And that's another thing. Astro out in Nevada in 120, no. It's just ridiculous.
Not safe.
Well,
even here, the sidewalks, even when it's only like 90 degrees here, the sidewalk is really, really hot. But when it's like today, I think it'll be 109. It's just
I'm not crazy.
Hot.
I watched a documentary the other night called The Wedding, and it was the wedding of Grace Kelly and Prince Rainier. And there you are. There's Grace Kelly on a yacht coming off the Queen Mary ocean liner, sailing with her future husband to Monaco. And guess what? She has a poodle in her arms. So Grace Kelly traveled with her dog all the time.
She's Grace Kelly.
It doesn't matter. Well, I'm Ron Russell. What difference?
No, I'm sure I'm sure they break rules for her.
She was a princess
back then.
But I'm a queen.
But I'm sure that they break rules for her back then. If you want to bring your dog, okay, no problem.
Yeah, well, she was the princess of Monaco. But I know a lot of Zsa Zsa Gabor, who I knew through Mr. Blackwell, had like 100 little poodles, and she took them all over. But her poodles used to pee and shit in people's houses. And Zsa Zsa thought nothing of it. She said, have your maid come and pick it up. So Blackwell told me that story, Mr. Blackwell. So
I like that.
What else? Where's our guest?
He's having problems signing in. He's working on it.
Okay, working on it. So, yeah, Zsa Zsa Gabor. I briefly met her like in a hallway, and she couldn't have cared less. She ignored me like I was dirt. So I said to Blackwell, I said, if I were a famous movie star, she would have said hello. And Blackwell said, no, she wouldn't. She thinks she's better than everybody in the world. So she says hello to no one. I said, really? She wasn't a nice person, Zsa Zsa Gabor. I've heard a lot of bad things about her, but she's dead now, so what the fuck? We're going to talk bad about her.
Is she the one from Green Acres? Or
Huh?
is she the one in Green Acres or the other
No,
one?
that was her sister, Ava, who was the opposite of Zsa
She was
Zsa.
nice.
She was a very sweet person because she was, what's his name's beard? Blackwell's good friend was the TV talk show host. What was his name? Merv Griffin. And Merv Griffin was gay. I know that for a fact because we were at the Cafe Roma in Beverly Hills, Mr. Blackwell and myself having dinner. And Merv Griffin was outside in a limousine, and he sent somebody, the driver, in to tell Blackwell to come out and say hello. So I went with Blackwell, and I met Merv Griffin, and in the car were two young fairy boys with Merv.
You ready for our guest?
What?
You ready for our guest?
Oh, yeah. So Blackwell said he was gay, and Ava Gabor was his beard. She made believe she was his girlfriend.
All right, Juan, let's bring in Richard.
Oh my God!
Sorry for the.
Can you turn it sideways? Can you turn it sideways?
I'm gonna try to turn it sideways. My computer wasn't working.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
We back?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, just stay that way. Don't worry about it. We won't worry about it. All right, everybody. Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, writer, director, visual artist, Richard Burgin. Hello and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me on the show, Jimmy and Ron. It's great to meet you. I'm really sorry for the technical problems.
That's
My
okay.
internet was slow, so I figured this is the next best thing. I can join you from my phone rather than from my computer, so you will see.
Anyway, Richard. That's a great shirt. I love
thank
shirt.
you. Yeah, this is.
It's a shirt I would wear.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, I like this shirt. This is one of my summer shirts because it's been a while since it's been warm here in Chicago, so I like to wear my summer clothes as much as I can when it's in season.
So you guys, Richard has done a bunch of cool things, but one of the first things I want us to talk about is his movie that's available now at burginworld.com, which is his website that also has his art. It's also available on Amazon Prime and iTunes, right?
Oh, yeah, it's on Apple TV. I think it's on iTunes.
Apple
too, and
TV.
it's soon to be on Tubi and a bunch of other platforms, too.
So you guys, he has a film that he wrote and directed. It's on Amazon Prime, Apple TV, and the website, like I said, burginworld.com. The name of the movie is called Fang, of which he wrote and directed it. It's got 13 wins and 15 nominations at film festivals. And here's the little synopsis of it. First of all, it stars Dylan LeRae, Lynn Lowry, and Jess Paul. You guys know Lynn Lowry. She was on our show about a month ago. Really famous horror movie actress. And the synopsis is, after living with the stress of his mother's chronic illness and getting bitten by a rat in his house, a young autistic man starts slowly turning into a rat. And so now, you've done a million movies. Actually, I looked it up. I think you've done you have 127 IMDb credits, 21 in development. But this is your first film. That's your first feature film. That's all you, right?
That's right. Yeah, I wrote and directed Fang. I was the executive producer. I did part of the soundtrack. I did casting for Fang. I did a lot of different roles on the project. But I also want to emphasize that Fang it was very much a team effort. I'm really grateful for everybody I got to work with on Fang, and I believe very much that film is a collaborative art form, and that it was really wonderful. Everything that I couldn't have asked for a better cast and crew.
So how did you meet Lynn Lowry?
Well, actually, Lynn reached out to me directly. I made like a random comment while I was still writing the script for Fang. I posted something like, "Oh, I'm making a movie," and it was very offhandedly. And then a few hours later, I checked in my messenger on Facebook. I got a message from Lynn Lowry saying, "Oh, hi, Richard. I saw that you're going to be making a movie. I was wondering if you have a part for me in it." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, you bet I do." So, I started rewriting the script to greatly expand the role of the mother in Fang, so Lynn could have a starring role, and she has the second biggest role in Fang after Billy, the main character, who was played by Dylan LeRae. And I think Dylan and Lynn both gave phenomenal performances. Lynn told me that Fang was her favorite movie that she's acted in out of any of the movies that she's been in.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Now tell me, does the guy turn into a rat completely?
It's sort of like a rat-man hybrid. It's kind of like a large humanoid.
Human with a rat's head.
He has a rat head, yeah, and he has some fur on his arms. It's kind of like midway between human and rat.
Ron did a horror movie called Big Freaking Rat, where he gets killed by a rat that's as big as a Volkswagen. It's like a really big rat.
Cool.
So here's what I want to do so people can get an idea of what the movie looks like. We have the trailer. So you kind of like announce it and introduce the trailer, and then you hang on, and we're going to play the trailer for everybody to see.
That sounds amazing. Well, thank you so much. And here's the trailer for Fang. I hope you have a fantastic time watching it.
You're under a lot of stress. I feel more and more like a rat. It's like I keep seeing this squirrel, but then it goes away.
Get the spray! Kill it! Kill it! Go kill it! Go kill it!
I'm different. Everybody's different. You don't understand. I'm different. I do things to act like other people, but I'm not like them. Have you been diagnosed with anything? It feels like I'm okay. I'm doing something, and then it all goes wrong. I crash, and it's just.
You remember when we used to go swimming at the lake and we would build sandy castles?
I remember.
You remember when we would play catch and you never wanted to play with me?
Unleash your inner rat.
Oh, yeah.
That is absolutely the skeeviest thing you ever want to see is that rat. Oh, is he disgusting, that rat?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ron.
I don't
think
like
that is a compliment.
No, it's a compliment. He can't stand rats.
No, that's wonderful what you did because it's scary and skeevy. He's not a pretty rat. Ugh.
No.
It's funny though because first of all, you should check out the film. You can stream it, like I said before, on Amazon Prime and Apple TV. If you go to BurginWorld.com, you can actually buy a Blu-ray or DVD of it from BurginWorld.com and see all the other things that Richard does. But one thing I think, first of all, you guys, I watched the movie, so it's a pretty good movie for a low budget indie horror film. It's actually extremely done well. You did a great job.
Thank you, Jimmy.
And it's a lot of fun.
I haven't seen it yet, so I can't comment.
But it's really good. So I have a question, though. So how did you meet Dylan LeRae? You guys almost look like you could be related.
Yeah.
No, it's like a running joke between us that people think that I played Billy, and I have to keep telling people, no, I did not play Billy in Fang. Dylan LeRae played Billy and Fang, and we are different people. And he is an incredibly talented actor. And so what happened was, originally I wanted to play Billy myself, and that was kind of my ego talking, where it was like I was thinking I want to be the writer of Fang, I want to be the director of Fang, I want to do everything myself. And then I woke and I was lying in bed one night and I realized, no, I can't do everything myself. That would be way too stressful for me. I don't know what the fuck I got myself into. I don't know what I'm thinking. So then I decided, all right, I'm going to put out a casting notice on backstage.com. I'm going to look for a different lead actor to play Billy. And so I put out the casting notice. I got like over 100 video auditions for Fang. And what really stood out to me about Dylan's audition was that he really captured the physicality of Billy's character, because most of the actors really wanted to do they wanted to do a monologue. They wanted to do something very verbal to show off their acting range. But Dylan mostly gave a silent audition. So that really stood out to me in a positive way. And I decided, he's the guy to play Billy. And that's how we met. And we still message back and forth. I think we're pretty good friends now. And I definitely recommend working with Dylan. He is a really talented actor.
I love it. So you do a lot of different things. I know you have a podcast, right?
The Citizen Show. That's right.
Show. And what does the Citizen Show talk about, and who's your co-host?
My co-host is my girlfriend, Isabella Rangel, and she is very talented. She is a very talented makeup artist and costume designer. And the podcast was her idea that we should do it. So what we do is, on each episode, we discuss a different movie and we bring guests on, and it is kind of like a free-form discussion. And on my website, burginworld.com, all of the Citizen Show episodes are listed. We mostly do horror and sci-fi, but we can do basically any movie that catches our attention. We want to do an episode about.
What's your favorite horror movie?
Well, I think the movie that really made me want to make movies was The Shining. I saw that when I was a teenager, and that made me feel really inspired in a very dark and sinister way. It made me feel inspired because I figured, this expanded my ideas of what movies could be, because I had mostly watched kids' movies before I saw that. So then I saw Psycho, and I saw a bunch of other classic horror movies, and I decided, I want to do this. This is the thing for me.
I love it. So we actually, did you like, I forgot the name of the movie now, but they made the Shining prequel or whatever. That came out a couple of years ago. I forgot the name of the film.
Yeah, but it wasn't as success.
Did you like that one too, or not as much?
Oh yeah, I think that's Dr. Sleep. Dr.
Sleep.
That was pretty good. Yeah,
I thought it was pretty good too. Not as good as The Shining though.
No, yeah.
Classic.
People expected it. People expected it to be like The Shining, and when it didn't make it as well, it didn't do well. That film, I followed it.
He doesn't like horror movies a lot, even though he's in a bunch of them. But he does like Psycho, because we've seen Psycho together many times. Because he likes all the classic old movies.
Yeah, I think that a lot of times we show too much in a movie. Let's leave it up to people's imaginations. That you can't. An imagination can scare the hell out of you, whereas visual, you know it's fake or whatever. So I like films like The Shining, of course, because it was terrifying. He was crazy, It was a wonderful film. So the blood and guts works with it. But if you're making a movie only for blood and guts, I stay away from them.
That makes sense.
I like a story. I like it to be a thriller with some blood and guts. But if it's just a chop 'em up movie, I pass on them. I don't do them.
That
Because
makes sense. No, Fang is very much like
it's
a
a story.
horror drama. It's very character
Yeah, it's a
driven, and that's
thriller.
what leads to the horror.
No, I got that from the trailer. It's a story, and we're going to watch this man become. So, yeah. And the rat, ugly, disgusting stuff is good. No.
People like the rat, ugly, disgusting.
No, I like
Lynn Lowry does a great job in
But
the
did
film,
you ever see some of these movies? There's no story. 10
That's
people in the
true,
room,
yeah.
10 people get killed one after another. You don't really give a shit about the people because there's no character development. But in your movie, there seems to be a character development, and his mother seems to be a little weird. So it's an interesting film to see.
Oh, thank you so much, Ron, and I agree. It's when I was writing the script for Fang, I wanted it to be a very character-driven movie, and it's, I think the real horror of Fang comes from the characters and their relationships with each other. It's a very dark kind of family story in terms of.
Right. Now you said that the boy is autistic.
Yeah.
What made you make him autistic? What's the reasoning for that in the film?
Well, it was inspired by some of my own experiences. I'm on the very high functioning end of the spectrum myself, and I have other mental illnesses. I got diagnosed as bipolar. I went to a mental hospital once. I spent 3 weeks there, although that was actually after I finished making Fang. So I think Fang was keeping me sane working on this.
I love it. No, I noticed that you create characters with autism, paranoia, depression, schizophrenia, OCD, and other conditions.
But wait a minute. The character in Fang, he's autistic. So how does that play into the movie? Do we know it? Are we aware of the fact that he's autistic?
Oh yeah, no, Billy, and this is a little bit of a spoiler for anybody who's listening now who hasn't seen Fang. You can maybe tune me out, but Billy does get diagnosed as autistic and schizophrenic by the end of Fang. I don't want to give away why he gets diagnosed, but he does get diagnosed in Fang, and it does play a significant part in the story because Billy is very isolated. He is very alienated from the people around him. He does not have a lot of friends. He's not exactly somebody who's going to a lot of parties or getting to have fun experiences. So that kind of contributes to Billy's downward spiral in that while he is very isolated and alienated from other people and living with his mother, Gina, who has Parkinson's, this kind of creates the condition where he is very vulnerable to believing that he is transforming into a rat.
So you got.
Wait a minute. I bet your IQ is outrageously high, and you're a little.
Thank you.
Are you a genius? What is it?
I hope so.
Savant.
How do you say it?
Savant.
Are you a savant?
Savant.
I don't know about that, but I do my best.
Because
you're doing terrific.
Because let me tell you
thank
something. To put together a movie, you have to really be intelligent. You have to be talented, and you have to be definitely undaunted by whatever happens that could stop you from doing it. So my hat's off to you.
Oh, thank you so much, Ron.
And I don't want to call your disabilities because you're not disabled. You're far from disabled. But whatever your problems were that we all have, you've overcome them. And you've done a very good movie. And I'm very happy to know you.
I'm really happy to know you, too.
No, because you will encourage other people who are in your same situation that not to depend or to feel sorry for yourself or to think you're odd or different, but to believe that you're the same as everyone else with the same opportunities and you're able to do the same things that functioning people do. My hat's off to you. Bravo.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you so much, Ron. Thank you so much, Jimmy. And you're right. Yeah, I mean, Well, I think everybody has something going on,
Yeah, we're all a little nuts.
Something. Yeah, everybody's a little bit different, or they have something, some issue to deal with. So I think, and Fang is not necessarily an inspiring story. It is a very dark movie, but I think the existence of Fang will hopefully inspire people to follow their dreams of, deciding, if they want to make a movie that, yeah, you can go ahead and make a movie. You don't have to let anything limit you. You can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You guys, listen, you guys. So Richard is a painter, a video artist, a soundtrack composer, a podcaster. If you go to burginworld.com,
I think you are a schizophrenic.
You can see his art. You can see his artwork.
I think you're a genius.
You can see his artwork, you guys. He has a ton of video, like short movies that he's done, and you can see his short movies. You can listen to his podcast. You can see his art. You can order Fang and just find out more about him. So please check it out and go to burginworld.com, and Burgin is BURGINWORLD.com, and check it all out.
Richard, what have you got brewing for your next movie? What kind of a thing are you going to do? Can you give us a little hint?
Oh, yeah. Well, I started getting some ideas very recently for a movie about like this guy who is like kind of brought back to life, and he is kind of, and he has to be powered by electricity to make it work. So he has to constantly be recharging himself so his battery doesn't die, and he's kind of tormented by memories from his past life. So that's something I just started working on as a new project, a new idea. And then I'm also working on a crowdfunding campaign for a movie that a friend of mine is making called Operation XI-33. That is EX-I-33. It's about a guy who's driven insane by government experiments. And then I have some other projects in differing stages of development, but I'm always coming up with new ideas and thinking about things that I want to do.
You're
I'll definitely.
You're a busy boy.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
You're busy, but the guy that sounds like a Tesla.
I was thinking the guy sounds like, because Iron Man has to recharge that thing in his chest.
No, but he's a Tesla. The guy was built.
Yeah, it's a human Tesla.
Yeah, he's like a human Tesla.
300 miles plug in.
Very difficult to make movies, so what you're accomplishing is fantastic. And since I saw the film, I know that it's a really good film.
I want to know, Richard, do you mind telling us how old you are?
I'm 27 years old.
You look about 18.
I have a baby face.
Yes, you're lucky. That baby face.
You're going to love it when you're 50 and you look like you're 30.
Exactly. I mean, I'm 84 years old, and people say I look so young for 84.
You do, yeah.
And I love it because, it's nice to look younger than, better that than you're 30 and they say you look 50.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't think anybody wants to be in that boat.
So you guys can check out Richard's projects on IMDb. You definitely want to stream or rent Fang, or you can buy it off of burginworld.com. Check out his IMDb because he's got 21 projects in different stages of development. He's also been a part of 127 projects, some of which are ones that we know the people who are doing them. I didn't write it down who they were, but I definitely know that. Oh, shoot. And
you are far, far, far from disabled, my friend. Far from disabled.
That's right.
I think that's an error.
And you guys,
I didn't even know I had 21 because I didn't even know I had 21 projects in development because I kind of get involved in different ways on movies my friends are making or they're working on. And I'm like, hey, is there anything I can do, to help out or get a credit somehow? So that's how when Jimmy read it out loud, I was like, holy shit, I have 21 projects in development. That's like, damn.
Networking. That's the way you do it. That's how that's how you'll meet people to bring bigger stars into your next movies. That's how you'll do everything. So
and I want to say something about a rat movie. When I went on the set of the Big Friggin' Rat. The Big Friggin' Rat was the name of the movie I'm in. And I went on the set early in the morning at 6, and I never saw the rat. Well, I turned a corner in the soundstage, and the eyes lit up red, and it was the size of a Volkswagen, and it has spit hanging off of its fangs. I almost dropped dead. I said, I have to work with this fucking thing. Are you kidding me? It was disgusting and scary. But the good thing, here's what happened. The rat was supposed to pick me up and throw me against a wall and tear my arm off and my leg. But when they found out my age, they said, we're not insured for that. We can't have Ron do that stunt because he could hurt himself. So what they did was they showed the rat coming up from the basement with my arm in his mouth.
That's cool.
And you recognize the wristwatch I had on. So that's how they had the rat eat me in the basement.
Oh, that's very clever.
And I was grateful because I really didn't want to work with that rat. They would have had to put me in the rat's mouth and then throw me somehow with a rope or something against the wall. So I couldn't do it. But working with a rat, it's very scary. And I think this is going to be a scary movie because rats are horrible. Ugh, they're ugly rats. And in England, in England, I see these young guys walking around with a rat on their shoulder. And I thought, oh my God.
That's pets.
They're pets. Pets.
Yeah, we wouldn't want a pet rat.
So what made you think it was funny?
No, we got to go.
Oh, we have to
We're
go.
out of time.
Richard, good luck with everything you do.
So you guys, this is Richard Burgin, you guys. The name of his movie is Fang. Please check it out on Amazon Prime and Apple TV, or go to BurginWorld.com and you can get a DVD. But go to BurginWorld.com anyway. Check out his art, his podcast, his shorts that he's done. He's super talented. We want to thank you for coming on the show.
Yes,
again, everybody.
You've been a very good guest because you talk. A lot of guests don't talk. You know what it's like.
Thank you. I can be very talkative.
And you're very interesting. And thank you for giving us a good show, Richard.
Oh, thank you so much, Ron and Jimmy. And
bye, you guys.
You guys are great hosts.
Thank you.
Bye, babe.
All right, everybody, we're off. We're going to New York. We'll see you guys in a couple of weeks, and we'll be back. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, Juan. Thank our guests today, Antoni Corona and Richard Burgin, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye, chat room. Thank you.
Yeah, we in the mix. Yeah, we in the mix. It's another episode. Here we go. The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Interviewing the hottest, newest, and truest of today's celebrities. Make sure to subscribe so you can get notified weekly. Jimmy Star, he's the king of cool. Ron Russell, he's a gorgeous dude. Chat room is live and you would be a fool not to vibe with us at the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Come watch it live on W4CY Radio. Miss some past episodes? Download on iTunes. The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. It's the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell.